but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Want to buy world-class talent? Well, PSR says to them, your owner might have the money, but you're not making enough in shirt sales in Asia for that. The Magpies won their first domestic trophy since 1955, qualified for the Champions League, which you'd think would be a great springboard for them to go on and start building a team to challenge at the top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract. And look what's happened there. Nottingham Forest tried to invest to survive. They did that, but they got punished anyway. Meanwhile, clubs like Spurs, until last season, hadn't won a trophy in over 18 years, but because they rake in cash from the new stadium, they get a much bigger PSR allowance than a newly promoted club who are just trying to stay up. And let's not forget the loopholes these big boys are exploiting. Chelsea found the trick with those long contracts, selling the women's team. City are masters of related party sponsorships. Etihad this, Etisalat that, all within the rules, and fair play to them for capitalising on those opportunities. But what about the smaller clubs? They don't have that luxury. Now look, financial sustainability matters. Nobody wants another Bury or Morecambe situation. But there's increasing concern that rather than levelling the playing field, the current rules cement the existing hierarchy. So what's the solution? We'll either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons while the rest play musical chairs for 7th. And that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
Very good morning to you. Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and a man on a hunt for a hot chocolate. It's Tony Cascarino. Where'd it go?
It disappeared, Shebahn, but I haven't got one now. But I'm hoping the young lad who brings in the coffee every week will do me a nice coffee. Thank you.
Young lad, many of you out there, please, sir. The former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino out. Coming up for you on the show today, the Premier League returns with a bumper Saturday of games, including one of the classic Premier League fixtures, the Merseyside derby. And ahead of the game, Liverpool manager Arne Slot praised fan rivals in the Premier League.
What I like so much here in England is that no matter how much rivalry there is between us and Everton, or between us and United, or if we're going to go to Newcastle with the whole Isak story going on, the fans can just be together.
12:30, but live for you here on talkSPORT Cast. Can you guess what number this Merseyside derby is?
Oh no, a high one.
Take a guess. Any guess?
220.
Oh, it was very close, 247.
Ooh.
Everton manager David Moyes called on his side to win more of them.
We want to enjoy it, we want to try and play better, we want to try and win more often. We're trying desperately to challenge all the big teams, and we'll try and do that throughout the season. Yeah,
we have it live for you here on talkSPORT 12:30, the Merseyside derby. Plus we'll bring you the late game as well, a West London derby as Fulham host Brentford. Looking forward to that. Meanwhile, some teams are in desperate need of a victory. Graham Potter's West Ham are one of them, while Vitor Pereira's Wolves may be bottom, but their boss isn't going anywhere.
Vitor Pereira is close to agreeing a new 3-year contract at Wolves. Understood they could be formalised before the weekend. His win percentage last season was the best of any Wolves head coach in the Premier League era.
A wonderful Saturday ahead. He signed a new deal, Vitor Pereira. We'll talk about that, and we'll have a full preview of the weekend sport in action coming up for you here on talkSPORT. Good morning. Good morning, Cascarino.
Hiya, Shebahn.
How are you? How's your week?
Yeah, good. It's great Champions League football. I'm sure we'll cover a bit of that this week. And, I was a bit rough earlier in the week. Just went down. The whole family went down. Daughter started it. Then
I thought you were talking like rough as in you were out.
No. I mean rough as in coughs, virusy. But by Thursday, I sort of got over it and I feel back on good form.
That's the thing about the young kids. I mean, they just bring in all the germs, don't they? I was taking my kids home from school yesterday, and Reva, bless her, she's always got something or other. And I'm watching her trying to pick chewing gum up off the ground. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why? She'll be putting her hand in a bin to try and pick something. I'm like, this is why you get unwell, because that's clatty.
Yeah,
it's not
not good habit.
No,
you have to stamp that one out immediately.
At some point, I will stop. You had a nice wee walk around the park yesterday and witnessed something that we all go through, don't we?
Well, it was quite funny because I went for a walk around the park, and you know when you do these long walks and there's like a track and it takes about 10 minutes to get round, and as I'm walking, this couple come towards me, and I couldn't make out if they were a man or wife, and. Or they're definitely because they were arguing, and they were arguing really intensely as they were coming towards me. Now, 10, 12 minutes later, they come back around again. Yeah. And they're still arguing. And it was getting really severe because you could hear that, really hot and heated.
Oh, love it.
And I kept thinking, they've just walked around the park for like 12 minutes solid of literally disagreeing on everything again, and witnessed them try. Absolutely, I was oblivious to them because they just carried on as if they were indoors, just them two at home. They were arguing, and I just kept thinking, how do you argue that long? Going round, they've obviously had an agreement of, let's meet up in the park, we'll go for a walk and we'll talk it out. Yeah. But my God, did they go on? And I laughed because I literally was thinking, I can't believe that. I mean, I'm not great at arguing. I'm just not say great.
I love arguing. I'm joking.
No, but I mean, as in, I can. My missus, one of her biggest strengths is I say that she can have a little bit, and I get over it in time, and I don't, carry it on. But I just find it hard sometimes when you hear things to sort of, when you digest it, take it a little bit to heart. Maybe a little bit too sensitive for all that. But anyway.
I sit and fester for sure. And then Jamie says, you've got to put it behind you, move on. Like, new day, think the positives. And I'm like, well, what if I want to sit and be a moody cow? What was the park?
It was in Bromley. It's Bromley. Bromley. Norman Park.
If you were the couple arguing in Bromley.
It's Norman Park.
Norman Park yesterday. 810 03717 223344.
It went on it felt like an eternity.
Maybe they're still going now. We'll put you on live. You can sort it out together here on talkSPORT. And it's going to be a barnstorming weekend here in the Premier League.
This is Derby Day football, just the way we like it.
There are big games, and this one is massive.
Deafening noise at Anfield.
Brentford absolutely hate Fulham, which is why there is a localised fight for supremacy. Comes back to Salah, he puts it into an empty net, and Liverpool lead.
It's only a nice experience if the result goes your way, so that is where we are focusing on most.
It's whacked into the net by Tarkowski. The final act of the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park.
It's a great derby. It's been a brilliant game over the years, and there's many people enjoy these games.
Flicked on by Wilson. Oh, brilliant! Oh, yes! What a fantastic finish!
Going to be a big one. It's special derby, and it's a special moment. Local derby means a lot to us. Means a lot to the fans.
Shada finds the corner. What a moment for Brentford! And there is no better place to be than talkSPORT.
Yeah, a big weekend here on talkSPORT, starting with the Merseyside derby at Anfield, 12:30, live for you here on GameDay. Brighton and Spurs is the 3 o'clock, as is Burnley versus Forest, West Ham Palace, Wolves Leeds, Man United versus Chelsea at 5:30. I am looking forward to that. And then, of course, the West London derby live on talkSPORT, Fulham against Brentford at 8 o'clock. Cass, let's focus quickly on the Merseyside derby. Do you think Liverpool can carry on winning late? I mean, we saw it again midweek in the Champions League. It's a skill in itself.
Well, what I would say, Shebahn, is that it's sort of a perfect week for Everton as well, as in they've had a whole week after playing against Aston Villa last Saturday. They've got a whole week to get ready for this game against Liverpool. And yes, there's advantages because Liverpool have financial advantages. They can go and spend 400 million and bring 300 million in and have an incredible squad. But Everton have got a slight advantage because Liverpool played in midweek against Atletico Madrid on, Wednesday night. And they've got a time scale that they can absolutely work their socks off to prepare for Liverpool in a derby.
Yeah, this is it though. Then you look at Liverpool's squad, but I think this one's a really interesting one today. As we know, Liverpool have the upper hand in this derby.
Yeah.
But there's something promising about David Moyes' side here. He was asked in the press conference yesterday, about the Liverpool side winning late on, and he said it can almost be a little bit intimidating for managers as well. Ahead of the game, Moyes said Liverpool's ability to do that is the hallmark of a top team.
The better sides tend to sort of wear you down a little bit and start to, things might change. It's concentration changes with defenders or things. In the main, we've shown resilience as a side defensively as well. So we hope we can maintain that. Very difficult to coach it, except for letting people be aware. And obviously, we're all aware. It was the same when it was Fergie. Fergie used to get Fergie time. Used to be looking at his watch and telling the referees he wants more extra time, and used to get goals late on because his team kept preparing himself to score. We're always very attacking. I see that the same with Liverpool.
There'll be no time for Everton to switch off, even if they do take a lead at any point. It'll be a cagey affair, you think?
Well, I'd like to think when David Moyes took the job, he said, and I think he's stood firm on this, that he didn't want to fight a relegation battle. And with that, you've seen Kieran Dewsbury-Hall come in. You've seen Jack Grealish come in. They've got other players that can be creative and make a bit of a difference. Of course, he'll be stubborn in the way that his teams defend. But I'd like to think he's going to go there with a little bit more ambition, because I think you're going to see that with Everton this year. When you've gone out and got two players of like I've just spoke about, it gives you a bit more hope of offensively causing Liverpool problems, because Liverpool's weakest part of their team has been defensively, where they're giving away chances. A number of teams have scored 2 already against Liverpool, whether it's Bournemouth, whether it's Atletico Madrid. There's been teams who have been scoring against Liverpool. And I think David Moyes will recognise that. Of course, David Moyes will still have the structure of his team to make it as hard as he can. But I think they'll have a little bit more mindset of going to try and hurt Liverpool as well.
That's the thing, to go to Anfield and try and get a result in the Merseyside derby.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one for them. But, again, these atmospheres build you up, they rile you up. It's an incredible derby with a lot of heated fans.
Yeah, the derbies have been a bit of... I haven't felt they've been so, much tension and fiery as what we normally expect.
All right.
No, they haven't. Shebahn, think of how many derbies we've had already. We've had London derbies, we've had the Manchester derby, we've got Liverpool derby today. There's derbies everywhere already on the season.
Enough.
So far. And I wouldn't say they've been the intense derbies of years gone by. That just haven't been that. Whether this will be like this at 12:30 today, I hope so, because I think these derbies are really great when they have that rivalry, bragging rights, whatever you want. And Liverpool are a team that have, got 5 straight wins out the back.
Yeah.
Straight out the back, 5 wins.
There's an emotional surrounding of this derby as well today, because the last time these two sides met, it was the late Diogo Jota who scored in this derby as well. So there will come emotions to it. And then also that can pump up the players, as we've seen as well. Arne Slot has mentioned what they went through in the summer. His team has excelled his expectations so far this season. It's going to be a cracker. We've got 2 commentaries for you from the Premier League today. It starts with Liverpool versus Everton 12:30, and then Fulham versus Brentford at 8 o'clock. And of course, we'll keep you posted on all of the goals as well here on talkSPORT. talkSPORT 2, your home of the Championship. EFL, you've got Leicester versus Coventry 12:30, and then Chris Wilder's first game back in charge of Sheffield United. They've got Charlton at 3 o'clock. First, fingers crossed for your man, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's one of them games, isn't it, that you need to get a victory straight out the gate, where they've really struggled. I can't believe how bad Sheffield United have been this year.
Yeah,
it's been extraordinary watching them. And 5-0 Ipswich was obviously the nail in the coffin for the manager. But they've the standards have dropped so quickly from the decision of the end of last season to the start of this season.
Yeah.
Unrecognisable.
Yeah, completely agree. Wilder's first game back in charge of Sheffield United against Charlton, live on talkSPORT 2 for you 3 o'clock this afternoon. But let's focus on the Everton and Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Can Everton get a result today? 03717 22 3344, and can Liverpool keep winning late? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Morning. Morning, how's it going? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast. Tony Cascarino, you were looking for a hot chocolate earlier on, but in the office as we were about to do our production meeting today, Cass and I were going through the papers, and at the same time we went, here, have you seen this? Chaos in the papers this morning. It's not Terry's, it's mean. Terry's chocolate orange has secretly shrunk. Don't know if it's a secret if we know about it. Chocolate orange chocolate, orange chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, the wee...
Yeah, the
They've
balls.
shrunk it. And the treat has been reduced since 2016, a whopping 30 grams. And they're still up the price.
Yeah, getting dearer, costing more, obviously, and getting less. That's the common theme of the world today, isn't it? You're getting less, whether it's all different types of chocolates, bag of crisps is the same. You're paying more and getting less.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know, shrinkflation, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've stopped buying certain chocolates because I just look down and go, I'm not paying it for that.
Yeah. You go back to your day, it could have been like 10p a bar of chocolate.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're giving me age away there.
No, I didn't mean it be. Just that's not what I meant.
No, I know. I mean it as in, there was a time when we didn't pay a lot, but chocolate has gone and many other things that you would just treat, a little treat, and you're going, I'm paying £2-3 for something that it's just a treat. Yeah. And I just say, I'm not going to do it. That's the only way I think you can get prices down is if you don't buy it.
Yeah, going to protest against it. And it's different for me, Cass, because I'm getting bigger in size and getting paid less. It's an absolute disaster. Yeah. Right, coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. It's an absolute feast of sport and football for you here on talkSPORT. After us, Max and Charlie bringing you the warm-up from 9 o'clock through to 11, and then it's Reshman Chowdhury bringing you coverage of the Merseyside derby over on talkSPORT 2, your home of the EFL. We've got 2 more live games, Leicester versus Coventry, 12:30, and then it's Sheffield United versus Charlton at 3 o'clock. We're going to be joined by Simon Watts in the next half hour to look ahead to all of the EFL action. And then here on talkSPORT, GameDay Live with the greatest of all time, Adrian Dunham.
GameDay Live, Saturday afternoon. It's all you need from talkSPORT. We take you around the grounds, bring you all the goals as they go in. We have loads of fun. We tell you loads of things you didn't know about football, hopefully. And we might even bring you a win for your team. Full classified check, the only one on national radio, 5:15 every Saturday on talkSPORT. I'm sending him to sleep doing this, but I guarantee he will be listening to GameDay Live this afternoon.
You have to watch us on YouTube or on your smart TV because Adrian Dunham just had the visuals of his dog there. And he's way cuter than Adrian, like way cuter, that dog.
Well, you look at owners. We always say the owner can look like the dog. And the dog does look like the owner. If you can imagine Adrian, he's brilliant.
Yeah, watch us on smart TV on the YouTube channel for visuals of Adrian Dunham's dog. And then it's Jamie O'Hara taking your calls on the GameDay phone in 5:30 tonight alongside former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant.
Don't forget 5:30 GameDay phone and get your calls in. Massive day of Premier League action. You know what to do. 03 717 22 3344.
They'll be mouthing off as ever, won't they? Brentford versus Chelsea is at 8 o'clock tonight, and after that, Fight Night from 10, bringing you all of the latest news from the world of boxing. We've got another blockbuster day of live sport on the talkSPORT network. You can download the talkSPORT app and you can swipe between stations to listen to absolutely everything. Cass, what's your game of the day?
Oh, whoa.
Oh!
I tell you, the one that intrigues me the most is Manchester United versus Chelsea. Because that game, I think it's... Look, I talked earlier about, Everton having a free week up until the game against Liverpool today. Manchester United have had a free week since the defeat at Man City, and Chelsea have played in Bayern Munich during the week. Mm-hmm. And this is on normal circumstances, this is what you want as a player. You want to be playing a team that have had a real tough encounter that Chelsea did, and he's got to get it right. If he thinks that he's going to play Fernandes and Casemiro in midfield against Caicedo, Palmer and Fernandes, they are going to get ripped apart, Manchester United. Mm-hmm. I'm really intrigued of how he keeps insisting that he's going to play a certain way. I feel that way Chelsea will punish Manchester United today.
I completely agree with you, and I had all ears and all eyes on Ruben Amourim's press conference yesterday because obviously the news had broken late yesterday that apparently Sir Jim Ratcliffe had flown in for crisis talks with Ruben Amorim. Representatives close to the club had apparently said, no, that's not the case. These meetings were already scheduled in. But Ruben then said in his presser yesterday, look, I'm not changing my style. I wouldn't even do it for the Pope. But Cassie has to be able to make sure the players can play the way he wants them to play, and a part of me thinks adapt. I mean, you mentioned this last week. What's the point in doing all these badges if you cannot adapt and win games?
Yeah, I find it bizarre that someone would, you talk about going coaching courses and all the different things you have to deal with in football, whether it's offensive, defensive, positioning, teams, selection, formations. You have all this to deal with. And if you're just going to ignore that and say, this is how we play and I'm staying with it, and then whatever the consequences are, I will be gone, be sacked before I change. Yeah. I just don't get that as an answer. That would infuriate me if I was, on the board.
Well, I wonder if this will make you feel better, because yesterday, despite doubling down, he suggested there may be some changes. Here you go.
This is my job. This is my responsibility. This is my life. So I will not change that, but I will change. I will change the system. There will be an evolution, but we need to make all the good steps. And to tell you, if I'm a player and I have a coach that with a lot of pressure, it doesn't matter if he's all around the world, is saying you need to change the system, and I'm going to change in this moment. They will look at me in a different way. So everything, when you think about the impact that any decision is going to have in the team, everything is important. So I will always say the same thing. This will have an evolution. I'm doing things my way. Some guys do it in a different way, but it will change. Hope to have the time to change, but it will change.
I'm not going to change, and then I'm going to change.
Yeah.
That's reassuring. What is it?
Yeah, it's a bit Riddler-like. You're contradicting yourself. And you're obliged to make changes. That is the duty of a manager, that if you see problems, you have to adapt and change them and give your team a chance. The only way of getting confidence in a side is winning games. That's the only thing that gets confidence in fans, board members, your players, is winning games. Now, by hook or by crook, if they set up, like I've just said, and they go with that formation and they have Fernandes and Casemiro in midfield, and I could put Ngati in there as well, if he was in there, I'd say you're opening yourself up, because the Chelsea midfield will tear you to pieces. You're not as good as Bayern, Manchester United. You're nowhere near as good as Bayern Munich as a team, as we stand today. So I would have serious reservations about, him as a manager if he doesn't understand that you let your ego's great if you're winning, but your ego gets absolutely taken apart if you insist on something and you're still losing games.
Yeah, I agree with you. Man United fans, are you reassured then from that press conference yesterday? I'm not going to change, but there will be change. 03717 223344. We're going to get on the road next. We're going to be speaking to a Fleetwood Town fan en route to Cambridge. Early start for the COD Army. We'll be on the coach with the boys next. Good morning. Good morning. How are you getting on this Saturday? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn Aherne, and former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to this morning from the Premier League. Former Liverpool manager Rafa Benitez is making headlines this morning. He's admitted, Cass, that he would love to return for another coaching spell in England.
Yeah.
You see that happening one day?
Well, he's had obviously a number of opportunities from Newcastle, Everton to Liverpool, interim at Chelsea. Rafa has been out of the game quite a while, and unfortunately in football you can become flavour of the month and out of favour. And at the moment he's been out of favour, but he should have another go. I mean, management's in you. It's a drug for a lot of these guys to keep wanting to do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I'm sure Rafa's no different.
Yeah, especially football here in this country as well. You must really gravitate to want more. And
and have another go.
Exactly that. That's in the newspapers today. We'll bring you more on that a little bit later on. Also, at Molineux today, Wolves versus Leeds in a big game at the bottom of the Premier League, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Here's talkSPORT's reporter Jeff Peters with more.
This is Jeff Peters heading for Molineux, where Wolves are searching for their first points of the season. Played 4, lost 4, a shocking start. Leeds opened with victory against Everton, but a single point since, and lost late on at Fulham last weekend. Former England defender Chris Powell will be alongside me for Wolves against Leeds.
Looking forward to it. Jeff Peters, drive safely this morning. Also, Vitor Pereira's side are looking for the first win of the season, but despite that, he signed a new 3-year contract. In his press conference, however, he was more concerned about his star striker Jurgen Strand Larsen's new deal.
Very important, very important. If we want to increase our level, if we want to give a step, another step to be in another level, we need this kind of players. The players as Larsen, because it's not only about the tactical and technical, it's about the spirit and the personality. It's very important for us, and is a very, very good news for us.
Does that confirm that he's staying long term at the club, Strand Larsen?
Well, I mean, you could have made the point of, couldn't you, and said when he signed a new deal that he'd be long-term and staying, and in a very short space of time he left and has gone to Manchester United. There's no certainty with football and transfers, and the predicament of the club can, if they get relegated, he's not going to stay, is he? If he's a massive asset to them, and there's been interest from other clubs, so that's not going to happen. I think it's purely a case, and I heard Troy Deeney talking about it yesterday, and I thought Troy was right, that, look, he's in a position we can sign and get a really good deal, and it could be very likely be gone anyway in a year or two. So both parties are probably happy with it because he's got a big rise. He's seen other players leave and get, a big change in their career. And I think the club have had to pacify him in some way.
Yeah, it was interesting because even during the transfer window, he just signed his contract, his full-time contract in June, and was subject of rumoured transfers, in the summer in that window. Who's more important, do you think, to the Wolves fans, Vitor Pereira or Strand Larsen?
Well, Pereira done an incredible job, keeping Wolves up last season because they really had a big change in fortune, and this sometimes happens with managers coming in. It's been a tough start for them this year. Who's the most important? I'll probably put the manager over the player because we're talking one individual. He is important to them because I thought I saw a really good centre forward last year. He's a big lad, leads the line really well. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's a good, decent finisher. Don't think he takes penalties, so he even makes his goals even more valid. So, yeah, a really good player that the manager wants to keep. But I'd say the manager, for me, was the big difference.
Well, that's a fair point. Do you think they can get a win today at Molineux against Leeds?
Of course they can, but they've got to be at their best. And Leeds don't look like scoring many goals. That's one of the issues that Leeds are facing this year. You know, yes, they got the victory against Everton in the opening game of the season, but they're going to find it hard because they haven't quite found their rhythm. They're creating chances, but they don't look like a team that are going to be free scoring this year, Leeds. So a tight game to call, this one.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to be at Molineux this afternoon. Game Day Live, 2:30 with Adrian Durham. We'll be there, plus Brighton versus Spurs, Burnley, Forest, West Ham versus Palace. We'll keep you posted on all of the goals and all of those games as they happen. And it's time now for this. It's that time of morning, you're getting yourself up and prepared for whatever game you're heading to on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Memories. Because sure, it's the same for players as well if you're on the road this morning. But it's all about the fans on game days on Saturdays and Sundays, isn't it?
Yeah, they're travelling all over the country, all over the UK to see games.
So when we say travelling, Wi-Fi can be an issue sometimes because this is totally live. Yet we're heading out to the supporters coach just now. The trip of the week, we're with Fleetwood fans as they head to Cambridge for an early kick-off. The Cod Army sit 11th in League 2, 1 point and 2 places above today's opponents in the table. And they're on a 450-mile round trip to Lancashire and back. That, my friends, is dedication. The coach left at 5 o'clock this morning. We can speak to Cod fan now, Harry Dowson. Good morning, Harry. How are you?
Hiya, Harry.
Morning, how are you?
Oh, look at you. You're on the bus, Cod Army.
Are you on your own on the bus there, Harry?
No, I'm with the lads. We've set off at 5 a.m. and we're buzzing for an 12:30 kick-off.
Yeah. Tell us. Having so many people get up and go to this sort of place, this journey, and it is a long one for you. What drive your love of your club to me is extraordinary. That you would do all this effort for a game in League Two, a mid-table game that you could easily say, do you know what? I'm not doing it this weekend.
Do you know what? It's for the memories. Like, you don't get memories just sitting on a couch. I'd prefer to be going Ipswich on a Friday night, drawing 1-1, now Cambridge, 12:30 kick-off. Just what it's about, isn't it?
This is the live bit kicking in. Harry just froze on us there on the bus. That's the thing. I mean, it's beautiful, the people who are so committed. You'd rather make the memories than sit and watch the game on the couch. I'm the absolute opposite, Harry. I'd rather have a glass of wine on my couch. How many of you are on the coach this morning?
I think about 50, 56, something about that.
Fair play. Do you fancy your chances today? You feeling confident?
Not sure.
That's no, Harry.
Or have a shot on target.
Harry, you sound like you're just... Fair play. Yeah. How many times does the coach stop, by the way? Or is alcohol consumed at this time in the morning, Harry?
No, not until we get to the stadium. We're well behaved.
Yeah,
sure.
And is that the just the one bus that's leaving from Fleetwood, or is there a number of them?
No, there's just one today.
Just one going up. All right, Harry. 450-mile round trip. How many times does the coach stop for wee breaks on that round trip?
Nothing yet, but we will be stopping in about an hour.
I bet you there'll be a lot more stops on the way back, Harry.
Hopefully. I'm quite hungry. As you can tell, I've not really eaten.
How long have you been travelling with the Cod Army?
Oh, you need to come and join us one time.
Oh, Harry, I will see you very, very soon. Like I say, I do like my whispering angel on the couch, Harry. Oh, he's frozen. See, this is what we're saying. This is what we're saying. It's the live element. What would you give that signal out of 10?
A 3.
A 3 out of 10. It's a shame. Harry was good.
He was good, but he said some nice things, and I hold my hands up to people that want to travel and do these sort of distances to go and watch their team. And what times are you going to get? We're talking about getting to Cambridge, you know, he's leaving at 5 in the morning. He gets at Cambridge for a 12:30 kickoff for, say, 10:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time's he getting back tonight?
I know, that's what he says. He loves it. He just absolutely loves the travel. 450-mile round trip today for the Cod Army heading to Cambridge. Fleetwood fans, if you're listening this morning, good luck. Thank you to Harry Dowson and the troops all on the supporters coach this morning. Where are you travelling through today? 81089, you can let us know. Send us a voice note. Also on 03717 22 3344. Coming up next for you on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll discuss all of the EFL action from the weekend with Simon Watts. Good morning to you. Good morning, welcome along to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Bromley and Celtic's finest Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines this morning: London City Lionesses got their first ever Women's Super League victory, beating Everton 2-1 at Goodison Park last night. I was surprised. I thought that was going to be an Everton win last night. Fair play to the Lionesses. Canada picked up a shock win over Women's Rugby World Cup holders New Zealand to give them their first defeat in the tournament in 11 years. Spurs and then advance to the finals. Canada are through, perhaps maybe playing England. Of course, their semi-final is today as well, Cass. We'll keep you posted on that here on talkSPORT. And also Chris Wilder has returned to Sheffield United. Deja vu all over again. He takes his first game back in charge of the Blades this afternoon against Charlton. Here's our reporter covering the game, Alan Biggs.
This is Alan Biggs at Bramall Lane today, where Sheffield United are unveiling their 6th new manager of the past 9 years, and 3 of them, exactly half, have been Chris Wilder, a third coming for the Blades fan boss and by popular demand. Sheffield United versus Charlton Athletic on Around the Grounds, plus live on talkSPORT 2.
Cass, you're not surprised? I mean, you sat here this time last week, we had this conversation about Chris Wilder possibly returning to Sheffield United. Do you think he can quickly turn it around?
Well, I know the reason why Chris has gone back.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, he thinks they got a really good squad of players. He thinks there's a great squad that he can work with to get them back on track. You know, there's a lot of players still there that obviously were with Chris, and I know that was the big point for him. Is obviously he's got his love for the club and how it's worked, and you know, and he had Stephen Bettis he worked with as a CEO. Look, CEOs are under pressure because you have owners, and the lifespan of CEOs has got shorter. You know, so they have to get things right as well. And Chris has had a good relationship with him over the years. I don't know how it is today, but I do know that Chris was very excited about the type of quality players that Sheffield has still got. And that is the biggest thing for him, that he really believes he can do something.
There's also something that I think we don't see so often in football, and that's that loyalty to the club. You know, the board made the decision to get rid of Chris Wilder, you know, rightly or wrongly, however you see it. I think we see it was the wrong decision for the board to make. But for him to take that phone call again and go, yeah, I want to come back to this club.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to be sensible in scenarios like this, where you go, do you know what? They've admitted by what they've done, you know, reappointed him, that they made a mistake.
Did they say, we got it right?
And they've done it quick enough. Yeah. They've done it quick enough to go, look, as we stand today, I was looking at the table because now Middlesbrough on 16 points. Last season, Sheffield United started with 2 points behind, didn't they, with a 2 points deduction. This year, they're starting with 16 points behind because Borough, because they, knowing Chris, he will be really thinking they can still do something. You know, the decision came so quickly after the 5-0, and I don't know this is just my opinion, because I see this in football a lot, is that they were fearing League One football. Mm-hmm. They were fearing League One football because it couldn't continue anymore. The 5-0 defeat Ipswich, I guarantee you, people upstairs would have had conversations with owners. We need to do something. We need to do it quick because we could be in League One by Christmas.
Yeah.
And that was the fear. But I think Chris will go there with an optimism of going, we've got a good squad of players and I'll prove it by getting results. So they've owned it very quickly, Sheffield United, to say we've made a big mistake. We've got to get back on track, and hopefully Chris can do that for him.
We'll keep you posted how it goes today, live over on talkSPORT 2. Chris Wilder returned to the dugout. Sheffield United host Charlton. It's live for you, talkSPORT 2. 3 o'clock this afternoon. If you haven't already, download the talkSPORT app, swipe across to get the commentary of that game. And then last night in the EFL, Middlesbrough defeated West Brom 2-1 to go 4 points clear at the top of the Championship. And as ever, that was also live on talkSPORT 2.
Middlesbrough extend their lead at the top of the Championship. It's another win for Rob Edwards' side. Strelec and Sene with the goals that had them 2-0 up with half an hour remaining. West Brom huffed and puffed. Ryan Mason's side did get a goal back in the final minute of the 90, but Hegebo's header wasn't enough to get Mason and the Albion anything out of this one. Decent performance from the Borough. They are now 4 points clear at the top of the Championship. It ends here. Middlesbrough 2, West Brom 1.
Live for you last night here on talkSPORT Network. Now with us this morning, EFL expert Simon Watts. Good morning, Simon. How are you?
Hi, Simple. Oh, Simple Simon.
Oh, my God.
I was about to say morning.
Sorry, Simon.
Good morning.
Oh, no. I don't know why. It just came out.
Good morning, Simple.
You know, you're not wrong.
Savage.
No.
You're not wrong.
Simon, I've got to be straight up front on this. Borough's first goal last night, long throw, the epidemic of long throws is in the Championship as well. And but he got Borough on their way in a tight game. When I'll probably ask you, West Brom just don't look like a team that's going to get many goals to me.
No, when you look at the fact that Isaac Price is their top scorer at the moment, Hegebo, who got their late consolation last night, that was his first goal for the club. But compare that to Strelets taking, 26 minutes to get his first one last night for Borough. Yeah, I agree. West Brom are looking a little bit short in that department at the moment. But I've got to say, yeah, the long throws are back in vogue, aren't they? I think this is all down to Gary Rowett. He's teaching everybody how to play football again. The Oxford United manager, no bias there, but, Brentford, Arsenal, they're all copying him because it worked for Oxford last season and it's working for a lot of teams. The long throw, it's back in fashion. And, a lot of the anti-woke football brigade, I think, are quite liking this because, there is nothing wrong with scoring a set-piece goal, nothing offensive about that at all. And also nothing offensive about backing a young English manager compared to a lot of other clubs in the Championship that don't because, Rob Edwards, I don't think many people were riveted at Middlesbrough when he was appointed as manager in the summer, but continuing that great work that he did in getting Luton out of the Championship. 4 points clear already at the top. Obviously, everybody's got to play today and over the rest of the weekend, so it maybe won't be that at the end of the weekend. But what an amazing start. 3 wins out of 3 at home. Fantastic for them. And, built on the fact that they've used the transfer market just really, really well. I'm not sure many people had heard of David Strelets. He was playing for Slovan Bratislava, but he scored on his debut, his home debut last night. Sen as well, they signed from Lausanne in Switzerland, had a good goal scoring record there, but have seemingly hit the ground running in the Championship. So their recruitment at the minute has worked really, really well for them.
Simon, tell us who you think, because we're on talkSPORT 2 today. We've got Leicester versus Coventry, 4th against 6th. Both had a really decent start in many ways.
Yeah, they have. I think that Coventry will be particularly happy with their start purely and simply because their big Achilles heel in recent years has been they've started the season badly and they've got it together in the second half of the season, which has been enough to get them into the playoffs or thereabouts. But it's, if you could add those two halves of the season together and produce the kind of form they have in the second half, they could be an automatic promotion contender. And I think they could well be. I think this will be a really good test of that. They're the Championship's top scorers with 15 goals. If you're into this kind of thing, not just got the highest XG and most shots in the Championship, but 207 touches in the opposition box, converting that into simple layman's terms, that's 60 more than any other team in the Championship. So that proves why they're scoring so many goals. Haji Wright with 6 in 5, Victor Torp with 4 in 4. But Leicester have been steadily progressing, particularly as a team relegated, a manager appointed only in July. 4 straight wins, scoring 2 in each of those 4 matches at home this season, and really excited by Jeremy Monga, this 16-year-old talent that has come into the team and really hit the ground running. Aaron Ramsey didn't have the best of starts last week. He was sent off on his debut against Oxford. But I think Leicester are one of those teams that, given the turbulence they've had in the summer, will maybe start to get their act together and come strong in that second half of the season. So this is going to be a really good indicator this lunchtime as to kind of where both of these teams are at in terms of that promotion mix.
Brilliant stuff. I've got my eye on QPR versus Stoke. That'll be an interesting one as well this weekend. Can I just ask you quickly about Wrexham? Phil Parkinson, they've got Norwich away today. There's a bit of pressure on Phil Parkinson, even though I just love the job that he's done and I love that story altogether.
Yeah, but reports this week that their hierarchy have already been talking about changes. Stephen Gerrard, one of the names linked with the job. I've got to say their non-executive chairman, Sean Harvey, joined a fans podcast this week and said it's an absolute disgrace. It's not even a vote of confidence. This speculation, it's pure rubbish. I do wonder, these stories just do emerge sometimes with, no smoke without fire.
Exactly.
1 win from 5.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He's earned his stripes, Phil Parkinson.
Yeah.
I mean, are we really serious about, a manager that's gone for all the leagues to get from non-league to a Championship? And done really well, and after 5 games, I wouldn't understand it.
I know, but then at the same time, the way it goes, you wouldn't be shocked. Simon Watts, thank you so much for joining us this morning. An exciting weekend from the EFL. Take care, enjoy yourself, Simon. Thank you very much. Leicester versus Coventry, 12:30 on talkSPORT 2, and then we've also got Sheffield United versus Charlton at 3, and then it continues Monday night 8 o'clock talkSPORT 2 for Millwall versus Watford. All the goals from the EFL every Saturday at your home on talkSPORT 2. Coming up next for you here on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll build up to the Premier League weekend.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it, and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think. Good morning, welcome along to Saturday Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn Aherne, and Millwall Hall of Famer Tony Cascarino. You get inducted on Monday.
I'm going to the game Monday night, yeah, against Watford.
And then they're going to do like a celebration.
Yeah, there's a couple of us in there, yeah, a few. I think there's 3, maybe 4. They get inducted into the Hall of Fame, so really looking forward to it. Absolute honour. I think I left Millwall in 1990, so it's 35 years ago. But still go there and watch games every now and again. Got good friends who are Millwall fans, so yeah, they'll be booing me. They'll give me a bit of stick.
Oh, that's so nice. This is the 4th time you're going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Important question: what you wearing?
I don't know. I'm just going to go smart.
Go glam. Go glam.
No, I'm not.
Go glam. Do it.
I might wear me white coat.
There you go.
Inspector Clouseau coat.
Do it. Do it, absolutely.
Depends how cold it is Monday night.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll rate your outfit once I see the pictures. Coming up for you here on talkSPORT today, it's a great day. Premier League returns, bumper Saturday of games, including one of the classic Prem fixtures, the Merseyside derby. Liverpool manager Arne Slot loves the rivalries in the Premier League.
What I like so much here in England is that no matter how much rivalry there is between us and Everton, or between us and United, or if we're going to go to Newcastle with the whole Isaac story going on, the fans can just be together.
Tony Cascarino, you want more spice in this derby today, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think the derbies have been a bit of a letdown. I know Man City fans will look at last week and think, but I thought it was quite a timid affair. You know, I miss a little bit of a spicy atmosphere when the derbies are around.
I think a lot of fans will agree with you. Maybe you see it today, the 247th Merseyside derby, live for you here on talkSPORT 12:30. Everton manager David Moyes has called on his side to win more of them.
We want to enjoy it. We want to try and play better. We want to try and win more often. We're trying desperately to challenge all the big teams, and we'll try and do that throughout the season.
Everton manager David Moyes there. Plus, we'll bring you the late game here on talkSPORT, a West London derby. Fulham host Brentford. That kicks off at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, some teams in desperate need of a victory today, including Graham Potter's of West Ham. He admitted it's more important than ever for his side to stick together.
At every football club, if you don't win as much as you'd like, there's always noise, there's always pressure, there's always criticism, and that's fair. That's the world we're in, and we're all hurting the same. So we have to try to, and we will stick together.
Graham Potter there, let's stick together. That's the message he's given to the West Ham fans. We'll see if that happens for his side today. They host Crystal Palace. We'll keep you across all of the action, including the Premier League and the EFL, here on the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. Coming up for you, 5:30 tonight, Cass. I know what I'll be doing.
Yeah. Getting ready for the game, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Do you know the one that really I'm looking forward to seeing? And I don't know if he'll start, but Garnacho. Going back to Old Trafford. You know, we're talking about spicy and reactions of what fans will be like. He's going to get it full on if he plays. Now, I'm sure he'll be in the squad and might be on the bench, but he might start also.
Yeah.
You know, and Garnacho's still a very relatively young man, but he left the club in a pretty harsh way, the way Manchester United fans, because he made it clear he wanted to go and desperate to go.
Well, this is it. And even this week, it's been such a talking point with Marcus Rashford in the Champions League. Even Anthony Elanga for Newcastle in that game. And now Garnacho, even today, there's going to be a focus on him. It's like these players, how come it didn't happen at Manchester United? I mean, they all got their fresh start. They're all doing very, very well, so fair play to them. But geez Louise, like another one you're looking and going, how can this happen? You know? I mean, if he does light up Old Trafford today, Ruben Amorim must be going, why did I not try and make that work? Or maybe not.
They had to make changes. And look, you could make a point that I'm sure Manchester United would love Rashford to do as well as they can. Can they get the fee for him? And, you know, and that, you know, get rewarded in some way financially. But the club is struggling. And, you know, if Garnacho goes to Stamford Bridge like he has done and he starts doing well, then that falls on managers and coaches and decisions by football clubs.
Yeah, this is it. I want to bring your attention to this story that's been going around about Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi from the week in Chelsea's bomb squad. A lot of people saying it's unfair, the treatment that they've had. The PFA have become involved around the treatment of these players. Raheem Sterling been training at 8:30 in the evening on his own, and Axel Disasi in his own kind of makeshift dressing room. Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea manager, was asked about it yesterday in the press conference, and here's what he said.
I've been in Raheem's situation and Axel's situation as a player, and for sure I know that it's not the best feeling for a player, because if you are a player, that means that you want to train and play a game. But then, for different reason, the situation is the situation that is in this moment, and I know that the club is giving them the opportunity to work in the right way. And this is the only thing I can say. My father is 75 years old, and for 50 years he has been fisherman, working for 2 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the morning. This is hard in life, not a player the way they work.
I think Enzo Maresca really resonated with fans there.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah.
You know, because there's no sympathy for players like Raheem Sterling getting the money that they're getting training at 8:30 at night. There's not a lot of sympathy. But is it wrong or right?
I don't like bomb squads. My personal reason is that you might need a player for one game in one season for 1 minute. You might need him and you want him to do well in that time. You can get rid of him in the summer, or you can get rid of him in January transfer window if you don't like someone particularly. I don't like bomb squads. There's also another side of it. I've been, like Enzo mentioned now, I've been a player that's been pushed aside and made to train with the younger element of the team, not for doing anything wrong, just because I wasn't in the manager's plans. The only thing I ever reacted to is if they were disrespectful to me as a person, not because if they didn't fancy me and just I'm being left out. That would really bother me.
So do you think perhaps Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi feel they've been disrespected, and that's why they're acting out on social media?
Well, no, I'm not really. I can get it if they've gone too far, and then as a manager, you've got a choice to make. If they've gone too far, you can fine them, and at worst, you can say, well, forget the bomb squad. I'm not doing bomb squads. You can stay at home and have your personal trainer train you if you want. You know, I'd get that ruthless if I thought they were a problem. I'm not allowing bad behaviour, from players. But as a player, if you're doing the right things, if Raheem and Diassi are doing the right thing, going in, training, preparing themselves, and they're just left aside, that's okay to a degree. But if they're disrespectful to someone, managers ignore you, walk past you. You're walking in the morning, you're coming into the training ground, they walk straight past you, don't even look at you. And I think that would really get to me. I think I haven't done anything wrong. Okay, because you don't fancy me as a player or rate me, or that's one thing.
No, I don't get a hello.
Just ignoring me is another. And that would, for me, would be a challenging thing. Well, I would definitely say something.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't let it go without him, because that to me is just not on. You're a member of the club that you're getting paid as a salary for the football club to represent the club. So you shouldn't be treating a player just because you don't rate them that way.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
no, I completely agree. By the way, I just want to speak to you quickly about Ruben Amorim in that presser yesterday. He said his job is the toughest job in world football.
Guys, this is football, and this is the club with more pressure maybe in the world. But we want to win. And again, I think we are. You can say whatever, and I think last year I was a lot of very critical of the way we play. I think we are playing well until the boxes, defending and attacking. We need to be more aggressive in the boxes. We need to be more clinical. The rest, I think we are improving in comparing to last year. I think we are in the better place. But again, we need to win. We lost against Arsenal and we lost against City. And here losing, especially in the beginning after last season, is a problem.
Is it the impossible job being the Manchester United manager?
Well, it's one of the most impossible jobs in world football if you get it, if it's not going right, because, they are a club that is known as a flagship club, which is up there with, the very best in England and also abroad. If Barcelona, they would be exactly the same. Barcelona, Real Madrid, these jobs can be impossible jobs, and you ain't going to last very long if you lose games. And Manchester United is the same thing. So, yeah, it is one of the most hardest jobs in world football, without a doubt. I don't disagree with him there.
Can he turn it around? You'll find out today, 5:30. Manchester United take on Chelsea in the Premier League. We'll keep you posted in that game as and when it happens. By the way, the latest episode of the brand new talkSPORT podcast, brand new, is available now. European football expert Kev Hatchard, my God, he knows absolutely everything. He knows his stuff. As our Kev Hatchard joins Sam Millard to break down all of the performances in the Champions League this week. You can get that on the talkSPORT app, wherever you get your podcast. This is Weekend Breakfast. Coming up next, we'll get into today's back pages.
Don't forget the weekend breakfast from 6 a.m. on talkSPORT. Yes, the Bond theme. It's all pussy galore and Jaws. Tony Cascarino and Shebahn. You can't miss that.
Oh, Alan Brazil. How much did he get paid to say that?
Oh,
Hello.
brilliant.
Hi, pussy galore. What's it? Like, why? Why does he see me as... He calls me it all the time.
Pussy galore. Well, that obviously she was a character. That was Honor Blackman, who played...
Is it a good thing, then, if he calls me that?
Well, she was a stunning looking...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So...
But I tell you what, Shebahn, there's a bit of a trivia one here because it's a funny one because it's not the first time these sort of names have been used, okay? Ursula Andress, Dr. No. Remember the film Dr. No?
Yeah.
Ursula Andress. Honey Rider, he was called. And the famous Brit Etlund, who was obviously with Rod Stewart.
Yeah, Penny.
She was a stunner, right? She was in Man with a Golden Gun, and her name was Mary Goodnight.
Wait, so that wasn't Penny? What was her name?
Brit Etlund.
Oh.
No, Penny was his
She's
wife.
her wife, right.
But Brit Etlund was in Man with a Golden Gun.
Ah.
Right, okay. And her name was Mary Goodnight. Mary Goodnight in the film. It was a common theme in the Bond film.
Yeah, just these weird names.
Well, I thought they were quite funny. I like them.
How do you feel about getting called Jaws? Jaws. We should focus more on that.
He was about 7'2", wasn't he?
He's
Something
a big
ridiculous.
guy.
Yeah.
He's huge. And he was scary. Like, I remember being young and that one thinking that freaked me out a bit when I saw him on the telly.
Yeah, but I'm not really a Bond fan, but I sort of knew a bit of the people who had been in it, like Brooke Etlund and Ursula Andress, who was a very famous actor. She's stunning. Have you ever seen a picture of Ursula?
Yeah.
Unbelievably good-looking girl. Well, not that Brooke Etlund wasn't, but the Bond theme was to have these
Beautiful
incredible,
women, right?
beautiful women, yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of beautiful, Alan Brazil back with you next Wednesday on talkSPORT Breakfast with his bestie Ali McCoist and Gabby Agbonlahor and Ray Parlour for you on talkSPORT Breakfast next week. And it's time now to visit the Predictor League. We've asked our music act, who's going to be with us in the studio tomorrow. The band's called Picture Parlour. Kate is a big Everton fan. She's going to be with us here tomorrow to predict 5 scores from today's fixtures, and then we get Cass to do the same and see who comes out on top. Last week we had Dino working this as well. I think Dino went on to win last week, but let's see what Everton fan Kate from Picture Parlour thinks will happen.
My prediction for Liverpool versus Everton has to be 2-1 to Everton. I'm a blue, so I'm always going to back my team. And after watching Everton ladies at Anfield last week, I'm full of hope. I've got a good feeling about it. Brighton versus Spurs. I'm going to go out on a whim, and I'll say it's only early days in the season, and Brighton are decent at home, so 2-1 to Brighton. Man United versus Chelsea. 3-1 to Chelsea. Chelsea are one of the best attacking teams in the league right now. Fulham versus Brentford. Both decent sides, both have a similar league position, both London teams, so I think it'll be a tight game. I'm going to say 1-1. And Leicester versus Coventry in the Championship. 2-1 Leicester, I'm going to go with. It should be a good game, but let's go 2-1 for Leicester.
Kate from Picture Parlour going to be with us tomorrow in the studio here. Her voice is beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, what a beautiful voice she's got. Looking forward to hear her single. And then, what's your predictions?
Well, I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1 over Everton. So home win there. What was the second one? Brighton Spurs.
Brighton Spurs. She's gone 2-1.
I'm going to go Spurs 2-0.
Okay.
I'm not so sure Brighton will be as good this year. So I'll give it the edge to Spurs. What was the third one?
Man United, Chelsea. She's gone 3-1 Chelsea.
I was going to go for this 3-1.
3-1 as well.
I was going to go for that result, 3-1.
United, 3-1.
No, Chelsea 3-1.
All right, thanks for that encouragement. Fulham Brentford, she's gone 1-1. What are you going for?
Desmond 2-2.
Oh, okay, perfect. And Leicester Coventry in the Championship live on talkSPORT 2 today. She's gone 2-1. Cass is going.
I'm going to go 1-2 Coventry.
Okay, we'll see how it goes tomorrow when Kate is with us in the studio from Picture Parlour. We'll give 1 point for a correct winner and 3 points for the exact score. You'll find out tomorrow here on the Weekend Breakfast. Looking at today's back pages for you, it's all about Ruben Amorim, the hardest job in world football. He felt the pressure yesterday. Speaking about that in his press conference, he said, "Even the Pope won't change me. Will we see a change in his system today against Chelsea. You'll find out 5:30. Rafa Benitez is front page of the Telegraph. I want to coach in England again. That'll have tongues wagging. Back page of the Telegraph, focusing out on the World Championships in Tokyo. And Amy Hunt, who got silver yesterday, she says, I'm sexy and aggressive. Bit like you, Cass. And back page of the Mirror, match of the prey. Amorim won't change the system even for the Pope, as woeful United needs some divine intervention. Cass, there's a great story in the papers today that's got your focus, right?
Well, the story is, I mean, it's a small part, but it's about Sir Alex Ferguson and the loss of his wife and life after football and living on his own and just sitting in front watching the telly and travelling. He wanted to go and travel, so he went to Saudi Arabia. He's been to other places in the world after the loss of his wife, and it's a real reflection time for him. And also his work on charity, which his brother has got dementia and he's younger than Sir Alex, and all about keeping in touch with him and also, and this is a personal experience of mine as well, that the music side for people with dementia, how important it is that they listen to music. And and a real, we don't see the soft side of Fergie sometimes. I say soft side, it's more like the realism for him. I mean, he spent his life doing so much for the football club, and his wife played a massive part of that, his life story and his success. And then she's gone after he's finished football. Obviously, he's had probably the best part of 10 years with her after he finished in 13. And there he is, feeling lonely and realises that, the people, friends and family around him, it's really important. Yeah, and highlighting dementia and doing the work that you can for that charity. You'll have seen it going around. It's been on the news. It'll probably be on your timelines this morning. Sir Alex Ferguson singing My Way, and that was the song. And he did do it his way. But you're right. I've been lucky. I've met Sir Alex. I've met him and chatted to him on a couple of occasions. And I found him really interesting, just the fact that he had a really warm side to him as well when he engages with you. And my best experience was in Marseille when I was planning a Legends game and he was my manager of the day at Marseille, and we were playing against the Marseille team then, and we had an all-stars, and I played up front with Cantona and Zidane, and that was the forward line, me, Cantona and Zidane. And it was a great day. He asked me to have a word with Zidane for him about coming to Man United, and Zidane was like, no. Because he never wanted to come. He made it quite clear that it wasn't Manchester United, that, even in the media in France, that he made it quite clear that he never wanted to play in England. Yeah. I mean, lovely stories going around in Sir Alex Ferguson in today's newspapers. There's actually a lovely story as well from Beto at Everton, talking about the Merseyside derby and how it was Diogo Jota, the late great, who reached out to on social media to welcome him to Liverpool when he moved here. He said it was the rival was the one who made contact with me. It's funny that we're both focused on stories with real emotion this morning from today's. Well, it happens a lot more, and no one would have known about Beto and speaking. That he didn't know him, but he felt like he wanted to reach out to him, which is, there's a lot of good stuff that happens in football. That we ignore, we stereotype a lot of negatives. We focus on the negatives. Yeah, the negatives we do, and I'm as guilty as anybody of doing this, because you're asked to give your honest assessment. There's a lot of great stuff that happens, and people do have emotions and feelings and really care as much as they can for people around them. Nice stories going around today. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss a big game at the Amex today. Brighton host Spurs. Ex-Seagull Adam Virgo is with us next.
Good morning. How are you getting on this weekend? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne, former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino with you as well this morning. Some of your other headlines. Man United manager Shebahn Aherne claims that not even the Pope could persuade him to change his tactics despite his Manchester United struggles so far this season. He said in his interview yesterday, "I will not change, but I will change. Let's just hope we see a change in fortunes today." Man United fans, it's against Chelsea 5:30. We'll keep you posted in that game on GameDay Live here with Adrian Durham this afternoon. Former Liverpool manager Rafa Benitez admits he wants to return for another coaching spell in England. And at Turf Moor today, 3 o'clock kick-off, Ange Postecoglou goes in search of his first win as Forest boss. They travel to Burnley, who have lost back-to-back matches in stoppage time. Here's our reporter, John Dunn.
I'm John Dunn and I'm travelling to Turf Moor where Burnley take on Nottingham Forest. Both teams looking to recover from defeats last time out. For the Clarets, it was a loss to the champions Liverpool 6 days ago, their first home loss in 16 months. But for Ange Postecoglou's new Forest side, it was a shock League Cup loss in Wales at Swansea, their third consecutive defeat. How will they fare on their trip to the Northwest? At Turf Moor, Burnley and Forest.
John Dunn there, a reporter covering the game. Also, Ange Postecoglou, the Forest manager, says he's expecting a tricky trip this afternoon.
There isn't any easy test in the Premier League now. I think that's pretty evident. He's got them set up really well. Like I said, I watched the Liverpool game last week and it took right till the last minute, and we know how good Liverpool are. So absolutely a tough test, but I think the Premier League, that's what it gives you every week. There's always something challenging you need to overcome.
Big Ange, Cass, can he get a win today?
Tough one. I mean, I totally agree. Well, Burnley were exceptional against Liverpool. The way they set up, Scotty Parker's got to be really proud of his team. Obviously, the handball and the penalty cost them really dearly late on. So, yeah, it will be. They won't give you an inch, Burnley. They really won't. And that will give them a chance of surviving.
There's a brilliant kind of comparison going around this week ahead of this fixture about Scotty Parker and the way he plays football and the way it's working for him because he's getting results, being promoted, etc. And then the way Ange plays football, which is kind of open at the back, but the all-out attack. So he's banging in the goals, or did so at Spurs, something like 76 goals, but conceded 77.
Yeah.
Whereas Scott Parker's scored, I think, a similar amount of goals, something like 60-odd goals, his team, but only conceded 12.
Yeah, that last season. Well, the Championship is not the level they're at now. They're at the Premier League, so massive difference because you can be broken down in a heartbeat. You know, just one moment of madness in a game can cost you dearly. So,
what would you rather watch? Scott Parker's Burnley and their style, or Ange Postecoglou's style?
I don't really have one way of playing. Of course, if I was a fan, I wouldn't want my team just literally being backs against the wall, parking the buses, whatever way you want to phrase it, every week. I think that would be frustrating. But I don't know what else Scott Parker could do, really, with a Burnley team that, you know, he can't go out and buy forwards for 20, 30, 50 million. He can't do them sort of deals. You know, he's having to scrap for certain types of player. Brozier's gone there from, you know, obviously from Chelsea that has had injuries and been on loan elsewhere. So it's a tough one for Scotty Parker because he just cannot get and be competitive in the transfer market.
Yeah, no, you're right. And his team is playing very, very well.
He'll spend, but it'll be general. It won't be on one player, a huge amount of money.
Burnley against Forest today, GameDay Live. Keep you posted on that with Adrian Durham from 2:30. Man United fans, Chelsea fans, we're taking your calls this morning. 03717 22 3344. United fans, can we get a result against Chelsea today? Perhaps maybe they'll be feeling a little bit tired from their midweek Champions League action. And what change would you like to see today? Shebahn Aherne said, I won't change even for the Pope. He can't change me, but there will be changes. So we'll wait and see what he comes up with today. 03717 22 3344. Also at the Amex this afternoon, Brighton take on High Flying Spurs. Pleased to say with us this morning, former Brighton and Celtic defender Adam Virgo. Good morning, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Good morning. How are we?
Yeah, we're good. Adam, first up, what are you making of Brighton's start? Because obviously there was a fabulous victory against Man City and a late goal conceded at home to Fulham was a 1-1 draw, loss at Bournemouth. So it feels a bit of a mixed bag, but is there an optimism within Brighton about where they could be at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a mixed message, and I think that's where they are as a squad, maybe, and maybe where they are with their results so far. So I think with Brighton this season, I think for the first time, I'm probably looking at fans thinking they're not too sure how this squad of players are going to finish this season, because they've signed new players that are very, very young, very, very inexperienced. I don't think they've strengthened to the starting 11 straight away, apart from maybe De Kuiper. But it's a very mixed bag, and like it was last season. But the Man City result was a solid result, but it was kind of a very, very good second half with 4 very, very good substitutions that kind of got them out of that loss, really. So I think it's a mixed bag of emotions, and I think that's shown in the results so far this season.
Yeah, well, we're obviously taking on Spurs, who under Thomas Frank have shown a bit more of an adaptive side, how they can go about their business, be a threat, and also set pieces. So it gives Brighton a lot more to think about than normally the Spurs team they play.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas has gone in there and done a fantastic job. And defensively, I was just hearing just before, Ange was very open. Thomas is not now. So defensively, Brighton are going to have to work out a way of trying to break down this solid Tottenham defence. I think Tottenham away from home, the way that Thomas wants to set them up, I think is the way that it's better for them being away from home. You've seen it at West Ham already. You've seen it at Manchester City. So they're going to be a real, real tough outfit. But, you know, if Brighton go and lose today, they've got Chelsea coming up next, then they've got Wolves and Newcastle. Those then fixtures become a little bit harder and a little bit more stickier, really, in terms of they've got to find results from somewhere to get a decent start and just get a decent number of points on the board like they got last season. And then that kind of mid-season blip can sometimes happen when they're trying to find results and performances. But this is a real, real tough test for them, because I think the Amex is getting a little bit edgy at the moment.
Interesting. And that's the thing. A lot of our pundits had high expectations of Brighton this season. Do you think that's a bit of a stretch, some seeing a top 6 finish?
I think from what I've seen this season, and you will know and Tony will know, that squads need to be strengthened season after season. And when I look at, you know, Costellas coming in for a lot of money, he's not really going to be a starter. De Kuiper in at left back, who's a decent player, but he's a left back. And then Buscagli's not going to really be starting. Watson's coming from Sunderland. Coppola's coming from Hurlers. These are not household names that are going to come in and maybe got 20, 25 Premier League experience games under them to push Brighton onto those European spots. What I'm looking at this season is who they signed last season. The likes of Jorginho Rutter, the likes of Gruder, the likes of Gomez, the likes of Minte. Those players now have to really, really step up after a year's worth of Premier League experience. They didn't get into Europe last season, which they maybe thought they would have done. But those players last season now really have to step forward to help with the likes of Danny Welbeck, to help with the likes of Matoma, to help the likes of Lewis Dunk, who have been solid players for Brighton in the Premier League. But they need support as well. You cannot rely on them week in, week out to keep producing the goods.
One player you didn't mention, Adam, is I saw last year, and look, there was loads of attention around him during the summer, was Belieber. Such an important player for them.
Yeah, he's huge. He's huge. And Brighton over the seasons have had key players, the likes of Caicedo, the likes of McAllister, and I'm now putting him within that bracket of the importance of what he is to Brighton and the importance of what he brings to that central midfield area. I saw a bit of him in France, and you know, with French football, these young players get a lot of opportunity and get a lot of game times. They come in with a bit more experience, maybe not Premier League experience, but game time, which is really, really important. But he's crucial. I mean, he's just developing into a wonderful player. But the problem is, developing into a wonderful player, everyone thinks, you know what, I fancy a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
And Brighton, again, will just have to deal with it. I mean, they're used to it. I mean, they've sold Trossard, they've sold White, they've sold McAllister, they've sold João Pedro. So it's not going to be anything new for Paul Barber and Tony Bloom come transfer markets when they're looking to sell their best players. But I don't think they've replaced João Pedro. And I think that's an issue for them. And that surprised me over the summer that they didn't get him replaced.
Just quickly, while we've got you, Adam, you'll always have an eye up the road at what's going on up in Glasgow. It's the League Cup today. What's your thoughts on Rangers, though? I mean, it's pretty bad at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I know Russell. He's a Brighton boy, and he's found it very, very difficult. Tony will know this, and you'll know this as well. I don't think people realise the size and the scale of those two clubs, Celtic and Rangers, how big they actually are, and what is the expectation of them in the domestic scene, and then what's expected of them from the European scene as well. And he's had some really, really bad results. If you get away with results, maybe with a win and just kind of those performances aren't quite there, but the results are not happening. And Hearts with that win as well. I mean, he's on a real fine tightrope now. You know, with my Celtic head on, you know, I want Celtic to do well and kind of beat Rangers every week. But I think for Russell, this is a real key couple of games, because I think he's gone up there, and I think people get surprised of how big that club is and the expectation straight away that you cannot have time to adjust and get your philosophy across. However, the people of Rangers that have brought him in will probably have to go through this little period. And if they end up, you know, removing Russell for results, then, you know, I think a lot will have to be looked at the board as well.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. It's another level of pressure cooker up there in Glasgow. Adam, Virgo, thank you so much for your time today.
Cheers, Adam.
Enjoy the game, all right?
Cheers, have a great weekend.
Catch up with you soon. Andrew, you're listening to You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning. Good morning. This is the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. If you're listening on the good old-fashioned radio, you can now watch us on your smart TV or live on the YouTube channel as well. You've got to see Cass's glasses. Woofed. Very, very stylish man. It's Shebahn Aherne with you, and Mr. Tony Cascarino as well. So the late game this evening, Fulham Cass host Brentford in the West London derby. It's live on talkSPORT from 8 o'clock tonight. So earlier on this week, I caught up with the Bees right back, Michael Coyote, on how important set pieces are for Brentford's style of play.
Yeah, we train every week, and I think it's a good arm to put the long throw in. So now it's been amazing for us, so I'm so happy about that.
You know, Rory Delap, is that something that you look at as well, or did you just realise that you have this power to launch that ball?
I know him and I see how he throw long the ball, but for me I just try one time and I just know I have a long throw. I didn't practice or something like this.
Just knew you had it. Listen, if we had a shot for every time we spoke about long throws in the last couple of weeks, his is outstanding.
I was at the game against Villa and he was on my right. He was literally in front of me, so I'm watching him literally missiles going into the 18-yard box. Coyote, yeah, he was brilliant at him.
And they're working because...
And they've got... Because Sharda as well can do it. They've got a few. I think they've got 2 or 3 at Brentford that can launch these incredible throws.
And they're causing havoc for the opposition as well, leading to goals, rescuing points late on in the game. This will be a good one today against Fulham.
Yeah, I went 2-2, didn't I? I said I fancy there'd be goals, yeah. Brentford I think they'll be fine this season. I'll be very optimistic about them. And Fulham keep getting these late goals, which helps. And considering they didn't do the lad Kevin for Fulham's coming, and hopefully he can give them something different as well.
Yeah, Fulham against Brentford, live for you. talkSPORT tonight, 8 o'clock. 03717223344 is the number. We're building up to the 5:30 game here. Manchester United hosting Chelsea. Richard, the Manchester United fan, has given us a call. Good morning, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Yeah, Richard, I want to ask you a question because Chelsea have got Palmer, Caicedo and Fernandes in midfield. What would your pairing be, or the 3, if you go 3, to combat them? Because I think that's your biggest issue. You must have a midfield that can compete against the opposition.
I wouldn't have a 3. I'd have a 4 at the back.
Mm-hmm.
You played Chelsea, one of the most attacking teams in the Premiership. You know, 4 at the back. Ugarte as a holding midfielder. United. If you've got Amram there, and what he's doing, he's setting up the same system week in, week out. Every manager knows that he's going to be playing the same system because he's openly said, I'm not going to change. So every manager expects to see the same system.
Yeah.
How are we meant to compete or win a game or do anything if he's not willing to change?
Richard, I think a lot of Man United fans would agree with you on that this morning. Let's get the Chelsea angle now, Cass. We can speak to Chelsea fan and TikToker Oz. Good morning, Oz.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Oz. You're obviously off the back of the Bayern Munich defeat. I think it's a good time for you to play, even though United have had a full week to prepare for you to play United.
Absolutely. It's a really weird one, this game, because on one hand, I'm really confident with the way Chelsea are playing. I mean, we've lost 3 games in 5 months. Only one of them, we actually had 11 men on the pitch in Bayern Munich game. Palmer Pedro scoring, getting assists. Like, it's all looking really positive. And this is the worst Man U team I've ever seen in my lifetime. Worst performing manager since World War II, I think.
Yep.
And no Man United player would get in a Chelsea Man United combined 11. So on that hand, I'm really confident, looking forward to the match. But on the other hand, we haven't won at Old Trafford since 2013 in the Premier League, when Juan Mata scored the winner, and he's gone on to play for Man United, and I think he's retiring in Australia now. So yeah, last time winning at Old Trafford, I think Esteban, our current winger, was 6 years old when that happened. So to put into context, it is it's a weird one. Yeah.
Garnacho, do you think he'll start today?
I really do. I think someone with his kind of, I don't know, arrogance and attitude, I feel like he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he'll want to start so badly, and he'll want to get a goal, want to get an assist, do something just to prove to I don't know, even to the Man United manager or fans that like he's a good player and they're going to regret getting rid of him.
Do you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that Garnacho might be looking to prove it to Ruben Amorim. Yeah, because you're right, Oz. He's got that kind of belief in himself, verging on arrogance, bit of swagger, doesn't mind having absolute housery on social media either. So you think if he is to score at Old Trafford today for Chelsea and going on and get a win, it's going to be in everybody's face, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And he's the kind of guy that I 100% believe will celebrate. He'll do that celebration where he kind of sits on the advertising board, and I think he'll just absolutely lap it up. But hey, all I'm focused on is Chelsea just finally breaking the curse that we clearly have at Old Trafford, and it's our best opportunity to beat them, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Downside, you look, for me, and I thought this, I said this at the start of the season, Chelsea's season will be decided by how well at the heart of their defence. Obviously, Colwell's been injured. You've got Toussaint, you've had an own goal from Shebahn. I feel that area is the one weakness of your team. People go the goalkeeper, but I think the two in front of him have got to be spot on.
100%. Like I agree with people's thoughts on the centre-back position, but what I would say is if you look through our last kind of 5 games against Bayern Munich, there was 3 individual errors. It wasn't necessarily a case of bad defending. Brentford, obviously that second goal, bit dubious. We think it was potentially an offside long throw-in, but the other goal was a Tosin 1-on-1, which his one weakness, he's I think a really good defender, but 1-on-1 he is a really poor defender. Fulham clean sheet. West Ham was a Paqueta screamer that Sanchez probably should have saved, but he's actually been really good this season. And then Palace a clean sheet when they had Eze. So like when you actually think about it, the defence isn't that bad. But I think because Chelsea are spending a lot of money and we didn't buy that centre-back, it's an easy thing to scapegoat. But I also, at the same time, I look at City, I look at Liverpool, I look at Arsenal, and I look at their centre-back pairings and I go, it's not the same. So, yeah, we do need better centre-backs, but there's no point worrying or being concerned about things you can't control. And we didn't get another centre-back in the summer, so we've just got to do the best with what we've got. And I don't think they're as bad as people are maybe portraying at the moment.
Just very quickly, well, we've got you as the bomb squad. Do you agree with your club's treatment of Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi?
It's a tricky one, really, because on a human level, I do kind of feel for them, but also at the same time, I don't want to just be so simple and be like, oh, they're on loads of money, it should be fine. But they had choices to leave. They get to train at really nice facilities and they are earning a lot of money. So at some point, if they had the choice to leave and they didn't, I don't feel that sorry for them.
Oz Talks Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on with us this morning. Good to get your insight from a Chelsea fan's perspective. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
That late game, we'll keep you posted on 5:30 late game. It's not that late, is it? 5:30? Cass's bedtime, actually. Man United versus Chelsea. We'll keep you posted on GameDay Live with Adrian Durham today here on talkSPORT, and then all of your calls to Jimmy O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant, taking your calls on the GameDay phone in later on today. Coming up next on Weekend Breakfast, we'll discuss the Merseyside derby, and we're also going to hear from Graham Potter as West Ham face Palace.
For every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. And Man United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are just some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez joined United from Arsenal back in 2018 and became the highest paid player in the Prem. He'd averaged almost 1 goal every 2 games for the Gunners, but in his 45 games for Man United, he only managed 5 goals. Not what you want from a star striker. Next up, Radamel Falcao. He earned himself the nickname the Tiger for his sheer efficiency and the way he used to pounce upon the mistakes of defenders. But at Man United, he was way more pussycat than Tiger, to be honest. All he managed in 29 Man United games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but 1 season later he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Good morning. Welcome along to the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne alongside the one and only Tony Cascarino. You've got a cracker of a Saturday ahead of you today here on talkSPORT. One of the classic Premier League fixtures coming up, the Merseyside derby at Anfield. And ahead of the game, Liverpool manager Arne Slot is coy over Alexander Isak's availability.
So first of all, we have to see how they all feel. What I do know is that Alex did feel his body more maybe than ever before after the 60-minute he played. So let's see how he's recovered today.
Stop sitting on the fence, Arne. Just tell us everything. Please put us out of our misery. Will Isak start today? Will he do a job? As for Everton, their manager David Moyes praised Arne Slot's impact at Liverpool since he arrived.
I think Arne Slot's come in and done a brilliant job for his club in the 1 year he's been here. They've gone out and bought some real top players, which has strengthened them again. So they've looked to improve again.
Everton boss David Moyes there. We're going to bring you the game live 12:30 here on talkSPORT. The 247th Merseyside derby with Reshman Chowdhury on game day from 12:30. Plus we'll bring you the late games as well. We've got a West London derby. Fulham host Brentford at 8 p.m. and Bees manager Keith Andrews says he knows how much this game means to the supporters.
Local derby means a lot to us, means a lot to the fans. That's never been lost. I mean, local derbies, I think, are a really important part of the footballing calendar, and for us this is a big one.
Good day ahead, Cass. Fulham Brentford live for you 8 o'clock exclusively with Faker Others here on talkSPORT tonight. Just a reminder of today's other Premier League action. Of course, 12:30 for Liverpool Everton. The Merseyside derby is live for you here. And then game day, Adrian Dunham keeps you across everything with Brighton against Spurs at 3. Also Burnley Forest, West Ham Palace, Wolves Leeds and Man United Chelsea's at 5:30 with Fulham and Brentford live with you here on talkSPORT at 8 o'clock tonight. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Tony Cascarino, into your third hour with me this morning.
Yeah.
And I have made a right mess of this studio.
I know you have.
Usually I blame other people, but it wasn't me. It was overnight.
You do bring a lot of things with you, don't you, Shebahn?
Like, yeah, I've set off like a mini bomb in the studio. Good to be with you today. We're going to look ahead to another of today's London derbies. West Ham take on Crystal Palace. Cass, I'm fascinated by this game because, you know, Pottery is under a bit of pressure, isn't he?
Yeah, I sometimes think about, and this is a bit off the wall here, I sometimes think about people who are on the board, owners of the football club and what their drive's in going to be as well. Not just Graham Potter's, but it's quite clear that West Ham today, it's going to change really quickly if they don't get some sort of performance and result. Because I talked about earlier about advantages of teams, okay? I talked about Liverpool playing Everton have an advantage because Everton had a clear week. I spoke about it with Manchester United having a clear week about playing Chelsea. Well, Crystal Palace have played a cup game against Millwall in midweek and went really strong. And West Ham have had a free week for this game to build up. And you know exactly their formation, Crystal Palace. So if anything, Graham Potter has got to get it right. We spoke about Ruben Amorim earlier, about tactical things, decisions. This is where Graham Potter's got to get spot on today because Crystal Palace are the best team who play that formation with a 3-5, that they push their wing backs on. They do it really well and effective. They've had a hard week in the Cup this week, because they went strong. So West Ham at home, you'd like to think they're going to take it at Palace, and can they get a result? Because I don't think Graham Potter will survive much longer with an indifferent performance and a loss. I just don't see it happening.
He was asked about that this week in his press conference ahead of the game. He said results need to improve sooner rather than later.
I think you have to do lots of things in these jobs. You have to build, you have to develop, but you also have to win. And I think it's fair to say we haven't done that as much as we'd like. And then when you don't do that as much as you'd like, there's always pressure, negativity, all those things. But at the end of the day, this job is it's a fantastic job. It's an important job at an amazing football club with an incredible support, a fan base and an ambition. So if you want to do something good and it is important and it's hard, then it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. That's just the nature of the job. In the highest league in the world, if you think it's going to be easy, then it clearly isn't.
Cass, do you think he should be getting more out of the squad that he's got now?
Well, when they played Chelsea and lost 5-1 at home, I felt that he tried to match up to what Chelsea did. And, and I get it, go for player and sort of match up in the similar lineup as Chelsea. And it backfired enormously because obviously Chelsea have got far better talent in nearly every position. And I think the danger for him today is, does he react to the way Palace play and then set up not to concede? Okay, you have to do that anyway, but be a threat. I think it's the perfect week where you just have to go with a very strong front three, play Fulcru, whether he's, whether you think he's at his best at the moment, play him, get Bowen on one side, Somerville, whoever, make it a very offensive lineup. Try and surprise Palace by how offensive West Ham are going to be. Because I don't think they can sit in and keep Palace out. Because if Palace do what they do and can grind out games and then turn you over. So I think it's really important that actually, say throw the kitchen sink and be reckless. No, but play in a very positive style, knowing that team has played all week. They've had a big game in midweek, gone the full 90 minutes with most of them. And you've got to take that advantage.
Do you think he's a good enough manager for the Premier League, Graham Potter?
Well, he's proved he was at Brighton. But then, look, management is so hard, Shebahn, because I could give you so many examples. I mean, I said earlier about Sheffield United and Charlton. You look at their two managers and you look at how well they've done at some places, like Chrissy Wilder at Northampton, and he's done it at Sheffield United. He's had, good periods there. And you look at Nathan Jones, and he's done it at Luton, and he's now done a good job. But then he had Stoke and Southampton in between. The jobs didn't work out for him. Management is really tough to get. And I'm not trying to, sit here and defend him in every way, but Graham Potter does play a very conservative brand of football, which isn't a good fit for West Ham, because they're ultimately the idea of their football club is to play really attractive football.
The West Ham way.
Yeah, and whatever that is, and people go, well, whatever the West Ham way is, it means a brand that's attacking. And, London Stadium should be a place where people go and fear, knowing it's going to be a really tough encounter. I don't think it's that anymore.
In defence of Graham Potter and in defence of the players, the club is struggling at the minute. The fans were out protesting last week as well. They're against the board. They feel that they're not getting that right. So there's so much on West Ham, on Graham Potter, to improve the results. But maybe above him, it's a harder thing for him to manage.
Yeah, look. The ownership is a deal, a bit of an issue. I say a bit. West Ham fans will take it further than that.
Yeah.
They've not really liked the Sullivan and Brady and whoever's involved on the board. They've not really appreciated that. They feel that the club have not progressed in any sense. And I think to a degree, it's true. And they can play the optimistic card like they did when Karen Brady came on talkSPORT and said, look, we believe in the long term and Graham is the right man. They can say all these things. But what you're seeing on the pitch isn't that. Mm-hmm. And that's why Graham has to get it right. And that means today. This is the type of game that if you come off second best and it's already, the feeling around the club is negative, you just add to it today and it will just literally compound. It will. It'll get worse.
Do you think he'll be the first manager to lose his job in the Premier League?
Well, I don't like
Second, sorry, to Nuno.
Well, I always I've never been a manager, and so but I've got friends who have done it, and I know how tough a gig it can be. So I always try and be as respectful as I can. But this is a brutal industry where it doesn't take a lot for you to be losing your position at a football club. That is the game. And it doesn't just happen in England, by the way. It happens all over. Just look in Germany and what happened, with Eric Ten Hag by Leverkusen. It can be incredibly brutal, and it can be the same in South America. It's everywhere that this industry hires and fires in a heartbeat.
We'll see how it goes for Graham Potter today. West Ham take on Crystal Palace. That's the 3:00 kickoff. We'll keep it all updated for you here on Game Day from 2:30 with Adrian Durham. Coming up next, we're going to discuss this song's connection to a very, very famous manager.
Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew.
Timeless tune.
Yeah. Do you know, I've said this before now, this is a French song.
No.
Comme d'habitude, it's called. It's a French song.
Say again?
Comme d'habitude.
Comme d'habitude.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle My Way.
Yeah, it's a French song that Claude, what was his surname who sang Claude? I can't remember. Jean-Claude? Was it Jean-Claude?
Jean-Claude Pierre?
No, honestly, it was a French song that Sinatra had heard.
Well, it's doing the rounds at the minute all over social media because of one very famous icon of football in this country. We'll give it to you next. We'll get the latest odds from Coral soon, and we'll speak to former Everton defender Alan Stubbs ahead of the Merseyside derby, live on talkSPORT 12:30 today. Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. You're listening to the weekend Game Day Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on the radio, on YouTube, and on your smart TV. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. Oh, doing the rounds on social media. Cass, are you on Instagram yet?
No.
Sort your life out.
Why?
Gosh, you need to be on the gram. Listen, if it's not on Instagram, it never happened. That's the kids' rule these days.
I know. I've always really steered clear of social media.
You're doing the right thing.
No, I just feel it just seems really time absorbing for me. I just feel like, would I wanted to be on my phone and doing more? I spend enough time on my phone, and I just don't want to be doing it. Loads of people said to me, "Oh, it's really beneficial to you," and I went, "Yeah." Time's more important to me. Having a bit of time.
I need to get the balance right because I love.
Well, you could get obsessed with it, can't you?
I scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Doom scrolling, it's called. But I saw a funny story just the other day. Tom Kearney revealed that his former Fulham teammate Alexander Mitrovic sent him a video message from one of his footballing heroes, but it came through with a caveat. Listen to this.
He knows how much I love Neymar, like how much I rated Neymar over the years, and obviously he plays with him, so amazing. And it was my birthday, and I woke up with a message from Mitro, like a video. He never sends me videos. I thought, what's this? And it was a video of Neymar, like saying, "Hey Tom," I think he said, "Hey Tom Kearney." I think he said my full name. It was like, "I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I hear you're a top guy, very good player, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh my God!" He put it on one-time view. Like Mitro, like, come on. So I played. I was like, Neymar, obviously I want to save it, I'll send it to my mates, whatever. And I said, "Mitchell, you put it on one-time view, you egg. Like, send it again." He went, no, it's done now, it's done.
Oh, how gutted would you be?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. By the way, how has he only ever played 2 times for Scotland, Tom Kearney? He's so talented. He's only represented Scotland twice.
That's mad.
And you've not had any unbelievable teams in that time, have you?
Well, this is true. Thanks for bringing it up.
Tom Kearney's got 2 caps. Have a look.
Amazing.
I think.
Yeah, from March 17 was his debut.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, he's a gifted footballer. Really, technically, I've seen him play some brilliant football for Fulham, and always felt, how can he not get in the Tottenham in the Scotland team?
Yeah, no, you make a very good point there. But
2 caps.
Probably more worried right now about the Neymar message coming through.
Yes, I know. It's a great story.
It's really good fun, and we spoke about this earlier on. Sir Alex Ferguson has been doing interviews with the BBC discussing the importance of music for dementia patients, and that's something that he and his brother had been going through as well. He'd been looking out for his brother who suffers from dementia, and he expressed his love for singing his favourite songs.
Much more than this, I did my way.
Actually makes me want to cry. That is beautiful. Sir Alex Ferguson, he's the cuddly teddy bear when he wants to be, isn't he?
Yeah. Look, it's obviously something very close to his heart, and many of us experience it for our parents, our grandparents, where we see the consequences of a horrific disease, which is dementia, Parkinson, Alzheimer's. And fair play to Sir Alex, and
that's where you really get to see him in another light as well. To sit and sing My Way. Honestly, when I saw that yesterday, I thought, oh.
By the way, it was Claude Francois who sang it in French.
You're French guy.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely to see Fergie in that light. We can get the latest odds now from Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
And John Hill is with us this morning. John, do you want to try and upstage Fergie with a song, or are you just going to go straight to the odds?
Good morning, Shebahn. No, nobody wants to hear that on a Saturday morning, I can assure you. I don't want to be upsetting the cats and the animals in people's houses, so we'll leave that one to a side. But I can tell you about the odds. It's great sport this weekend, isn't there?
Yeah, John, you said about the odds. Now, Liverpool have conceded twice, 3 times so far this season.
They have,
playing Everton, who are going to be dogged, that's for sure. How short are Liverpool going to be? And also the goals market, I want to know.
Well, they're short enough. They're 1-2 favourites here, Cass. One thing that they have been doing well, Liverpool, is scoring late goals. And we saw it again, didn't we, midweek against Atletico Madrid, that Virgil van Dijk deep injury time goal, and you talk about Fergie, Shebahn. Manchester United did that better than anybody, didn't they? They used to call it Fergie time, the amount of goals they scored in the 90th minute. So we applaud them on that respect. But you're right, they are conceding goals, and I think that will concern Arne Slot. And it's a bit of encouragement for Everton today because they've got some great attacking players, haven't they? They've signed well over the summer. Jack Grealish, for me, just looks the old Jack Grealish, which is fantastic news for England. So 1-2, as I say today, but I do expect Everton to score. So maybe the goals market is an interesting way. Over 3.5 goals, that's available at 11-4 cash. That could be popular, 4 goals or more in the game. They have produced some entertaining games, these two sides. And I also reading today, it's the fixture with the most red cards in history, the most red cards in a Premier League fixture. And the red card today is available at 3-1. So often here, this is the friendly derby, but it's not in terms of red cards. As I say, more red cards than any other Premier League fixture in history.
Can I ask you a question on this? Does that include managers, the red card?
It doesn't, no. Players only, which is interesting because it could get lively in the dugouts, couldn't it? We saw Diego Simeone sent off, didn't we? Yeah, no, it's players only, I'm afraid.
Yeah, okay. What about the 5:30 game today, Man United versus Chelsea? How do we see this one going, John?
Well, he's under pressure, isn't he, Ruben Amorim? And, he needs a result fast, doesn't he, at the start of the season. It's going to be a tough one today. But they're just marginal favourites because of that home advantage, United. They're 6-4 to prevail today at 5:30. Chelsea 13-8, the world champions, obviously, were in action in the Champions League, and the draw 13-5. But if he loses today, Cass, could it be the end of Ruben Amorim?
I really don't know.
Not if it's a 12 million payout before his first year at the club.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Look, performance as well does add to it. It compounds it if you play terribly, get ripped apart, and you lose 3-0 at Old Trafford. Of course, and especially Jim Radcliffe apparently has come back over. Look, how long do they go with it? If you go into the games they've already played and games coming up, you'll be going, got beat City 3-0. If we get beat today comfortably against the Chelsea side, yes, have they spent lots of money? It's always a tricky one, but managers are never safe, are they, John? It's not. It's just not.
You're only a couple of results, aren't you? No matter who you are from the sack in this game. So,
what about the best of the rest Premier League today, John?
Yeah, some decent games, isn't there? West Ham again, another manager under pressure. Graham Potter seems to be a fiend. The Hammers are 2-1 to beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace available at 13-10. Nottingham Forest, Ange Postecoglou looking for his first victory as Forest manager. They're 23-20 to beat Burnley today. And Thomas Frank's made a great start at Spurs, hasn't he? He got a victory against Villarreal in the Champions League midweek. His side had 19-10. Prevail against Brighton, and I still can't get used to these 8 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League on a Saturday night.
I love it. Love it.
Do you? Well, they are great, aren't they? Because you think the day's over, then you've got another bonus game. So, and this could be a good one tonight. It's a West London derby, isn't it? Fulham taking on Brentford. Fulham 11-10 here in this one. Brentford 13-5. So the football will be on in my house tonight. Not Strictly Come Dancing as it normally is on a Saturday.
I'll have the split screen. John Hill, go practice your singing. Thank you so much. That was the latest odds with Coral. 18+, be gambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+, max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
The Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT coming up next. We'll build up to the Merseyside derby, 12:30 live for you here on talkSPORT. Alan Stubbs is with us next. listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne, former Aston Villa and Gillingham striker and fan of French music, Tony Cascarino. This is your man you were talking about.
Claude Francois.
So he did the original My Way.
Yeah.
And then
Sinatra had seen it, apparently, from the story that I read, that he'd seen it and heard it. And there was a number of artists who wanted to take the song, and Sinatra got it.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah, and translated it into English, and yeah.
Can we hear Sir Alex Ferguson version again? Because that might be my all-time favourite. He's burst into song in an interview he's done about dementia. Oh, what a legend, honestly. Just gets better and better. Sweet to hear that this morning. My Way on the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. And coming up for you on talkSPORT today, Cass, strap yourself in, big fella. You've got a big feast after us. Max and Charlie bring you the warm-up from 9 o'clock through to 11. And then it's Reshman Chowdhury bringing you live and exclusive coverage of the Merseyside derby. Former Liverpool midfielder and Everton coach Charlie Adam is alongside Resh and Sam Matterface for that one today over on talkSPORT 2. Two more live championship commentaries. Leicester Coventry 12:30. And then Chris Wilder's return to Sheffield United hosting Charlton 3 o'clock. And then here on talkSPORT, it's Game Day Live with Adrian Dunham.
Game Day Live, Saturday afternoon. It's all you need from talkSPORT. We take you around the grounds, bring you all the goals as they go in. We have loads of fun. We tell you loads of things you didn't know about football, hopefully. And we might even bring you a win for your team. Full classified check, the only one on national radio, 5:15 every Saturday on talkSPORT. I'm sending him to sleep doing this, but I guarantee he will be listening to Game Day Live this afternoon.
This is why you have to make the change. Watch talkSPORT on your smart TV or watch us on YouTube on the stream, because Adrian Dunham just did that tease with his little furry friend.
Yeah.
His dog. Yeah. Not anybody else.
Yeah, it's
cute.
He's got a few little hairy things going on there, and his dog, as in, it's a bit like a punk dog, isn't it? It's all spiky. And
by the way, Adrian, if you are just listening, Cass said earlier on that, you know, that way owners look like their pet. So apparently you look like your Doug. Good morning, Adrian's Doug. Jamie O'Hara will be taking your calls on the Game Day phone in from 5:30 alongside former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant.
Don't forget 5:30 Game Day phone and get your calls in. Massive day of Premier League action. You know what to do. 03 717 22 3344.
And then 8 o'clock here on talkSPORT in the Premier League, Fulham take on Brentford. And after that, fight night from 10, reflecting on all the big boxing news of the day. Whatever you're talking about tomorrow, we're talking about now, today, here on talkSPORT. Another blockbuster day of live sport on the talkSPORT network. Download the talkSPORT app if you've got plans. Take us with you today. Good morning. It's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Do you have any pets?
Yes, a Pomeranian.
I used to have a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Pixie.
Pixie.
I'll show you a picture of her, you'll laugh.
Is she just a little ball?
Yeah, it's a little ball and it's white.
Oh, so does looks like you then? All of fluff.
Yeah, I to be honest, we had two. We lost one called Mimi, and we've got one left. And she's been really sad since we lost the second one.
It's because it's a huge loss, isn't it, to the
really
family?
sad. You can see it in her behaviour. She just looks sad, and we've considered getting another one again. But then it's hard because you're thinking, you know, do you want to keep doing this with animals? It's quite. We've lost. Oh, this is our third dog, so
That hurts. It really does. I mean, the part of the family.
Lost two.
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Coming up for you, by the way, at 12:30 this afternoon. English football's favourite for many, Liverpool and Everton go head-to-head in the Merseyside derby. We've got it exclusively for you live here on talkSPORT.
A city that lives and breathes it.
It's the best fixture in English football, and I will argue that too. Till the cows come home with anyone.
I want to see Mr. Slot when he's under pressure. When you win him, it's lovely.
The Merseyside derby was personal.
Right footed, cleared off the line, comes back to Salah. He puts it into an empty net and Liverpool lead.
It's not only tactical, you also have to stand up to those emotions.
I've been involved in some of these Merseyside derbies and it's been incredible.
Through the far post, it's whacked into the net by Tarkowski. There's a mini pitch invasion. There's an overspill of emotion.
David's long overdue a good result at Anfield, and he'll fancy his chance.
It means that Liverpool are back on top of the Premier League table.
They're showing champion form.
in the sense of you're winning when it's not great.
It is a feisty derby, a test of credentials, where the football takes precedence above everything else. Are you ready for it?
12:30. We will be ready. Sam Matterface looking ahead to this game for us now. We can speak to former Everton defender Alan Stubbs. Good morning, Stubbsy.
Alan.
Good morning, Shebahn. Morning, Cass.
Yeah, Alan. I was saying in earlier in the show that there is a slight advantage for Everton, even though Liverpool have all the advantages, the money they spent and the players they brought in, that Everton have had a free week after the Villa game where Liverpool have played midweek in a tougher encounter against Atletico. Can you take any heart out of that?
I think you've got to. I think there's going to be an element of, can we capitalise on the fact that they've had a game midweek? But yourself, Cass, as a player, is that when you're winning games, the games can't come fast enough for you because you just keep rolling out. And Liverpool have got a squad now that can cope with Champions League and domestic football. So there won't be. I'd love to say there was an advantage, but I think with today's modern day squads, I think that gets less and less.
Alan, what have you made under David Moyes? Because obviously this season he went with more ambition and more flair. People like Ndiaye, you've got Grealish, Dewsbury Hall. There's a bit more about Everton, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and it's been shown in the early part of this season, Cass, is that Everton have played, in terms of going forward, some of the best football I've seen in the last 5 years, at least. Jack Grealish has been a breath of fresh air. He really has. He is star quality. You can see why he went for £100 million. His form in an Everton jersey has been very good up to now. As in, he got Player of the Month last month, and he just, I think he has give the other players the confidence to raise the game, and everybody seems to be on board. I'd say the slight problem for Everton right now is just that they're not scoring enough goals in terms of the chances that they've created.
They are creating though, and they have been so impressive to watch. And if they can do a job over Liverpool today, and Jack Grealish is a big part of it, he'll be instantly one of the Everton heroes, already going down a treat. Stubbsy, Cass mentioned earlier on about the spice of the derbies. He's not felt a lot of it this season. Do you think that's something we'll see more of today in the Merseyside derby?
Well, looking at the conditions here, Shebahn, today it's a bit dull. It's been wet. The pitch will be really quick. I think Dad in England, I think the referee today is going to have a really important job in terms of how he lets the play flow. And some I've seen referees crumble in these derbies. They really get caught up in it, and they lose the plot. And he's got a very important role to play today. It's got the makings of a really good game. I think Everton go to Anfield in terms of this calibre or this quality of squad that David Moyes has put together with the best chance they've had in quite a few years. I think one of the big problems Everton have had going to Anfield is that they've not kept the ball well enough and for long enough. And Liverpool have just been able to just keep coming. Whereas this team has got more quality in terms of keeping the ball. The style under David Moyes has changed. David Moyes has been nothing short of fantastic since he's come back to Everton. And it'll be a real test for these players today in terms of how far they've come.
Well, I was saying again earlier that Alan, I feel, Liverpool have conceded 2 against Newcastle, Bournemouth and Madrid, and they're top of the league and got maximum points, all 5 straight wins. But that's got to give Everton some sort of hope of saying, look, we can cause some problems. And even when David took the job, he said, I don't want a relegation fight. So that's clearly telling us that he's going to try and make Everton into a team to get above the halfway mark, at least in the league.
Yeah, I think David is one of his first mantras as a manager was always to be hard to beat, and then start to build on the team going forward. Whereas I think with the players David's got, it leans more towards an attacking type of team. It'll be. I don't think Jared Branthwaite will be fit today, potentially. Which is a big loss, but the players that they have going forward now have give this team a new lease of life. They've given them an impetus going forward. You know, I've got to be honest. It's the first time in a number of years where I've started to enjoy going to watch Everton, because it's been a real tough watch, especially under Sean Dyche and David Moyes. I think, you know, realistically, has give Everton their Everton back.
Good to hear.
You know, and the stadium has been a big part of that as well. You know, but listen, I've got to be honest. There's no harder place to go to than Anfield at the moment, and it is going to be tough. But fingers crossed we can get a result.
Prediction?
I would take a draw and run a million miles right now. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to throw a curveball in here. I'm going to go Everton last-minute winner. And flip it on what Liverpool have been doing to teams recently.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that'd be brilliant. Alan Stubbs, former Everton defender. Thanks for your time this morning.
Cheers,
Enjoy the game today.
Thanks, Cass. Thank you.
All the best too. You also should mention last time these sides met at Anfield, it was Diogo Jota who'd scored the goal for Liverpool. So albeit a derby, albeit we're looking for that added spice, it will be emotional for the fans as well. That's live for you here today on talkSPORT, the Merseyside derby from 12:30. Don't forget, tomorrow talkSPORT also taking you around the grounds from the day's football. Sam Matterface here on GameDay live from 1. Updates from Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sunderland, Villa from 2, and then Arsenal, Manchester City at 4:30. And then it's Majestic here in the studio with Alan Pardew taking your calls from 6:30 on the final word tomorrow. Coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, we're going to put Cass in the spotlight with Cascarino yes, Cascarino no. Good morning. How you doing this morning? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea FA Cup finalist Tony Cascarino. Some of your news headlines today. Ahead of his rematch versus Conor Byrne, Chris Eubank Jr. says he would welcome a future fight with the new undisputed star Terence Crawford. Imagine that.
Oh, good luck in that one. He's some fighter, Terence Crawford.
Here, we should try and get a wee cheeky trip to Spurs for the next fight and have like a team bonding.
Yeah, I think loads of shows are trying that.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Morning,
Shebahn
Stadium.
I think other shows might be ahead of us in the queue. There's a few.
Fine, we'll wait. In other news, Lewis Hamilton believes he's really starting to see the progress come through at Ferrari after he set the pace on the opening day of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it's been a busy week at the World Athletics Championship. Here's talkSPORT's Michael Waydock with what we can look forward to in Tokyo today.
A quiet night of action for Great Britain and Northern Ireland with just a handful of athletes in action. The heptathletes were back for the long jump with Katarina Johnson-Thompson jumping 6 metres 42. Great Britain and Northern Ireland's Jade O'Dowda went second furthest with a leap of 6.49, whilst Abigail Paulett posted a distance of 5.98. It meant 981 points for Johnson-Thompson, who is still in the bronze medal position with 2 events to go. In the qualification for the men's discus final, both Nick Percy and Lawrence Okoye were eliminated. Later, Max Bergin goes in the final of the men's 800 metres, and Hannah Nutter will line up in the final of the women's 5,000 metres. And the relays begin with Great Britain and Northern Ireland entered in both the men's and women's 4x100 and 4x400 metre heats.
Michael Waydock, thank you very much. All of the action coming out of Tokyo. Back pages today. Amy Hunt, so she's the name that we're all talking about, from Cambridge. She's a Cambridge student. She got silver yesterday in the 200 metres. She says, I'm aggressive and I'm sexy.
Fair play.
Reminds me of you, Cass.
And well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Maybe sexy. Don't know if you're aggressive. That was bang out of order. Coming up for you today, tomorrow, Arsenal versus Manchester City. Looking forward to a huge game at 4:30, Cass. Rock and roll legend and Manchester City superfan Noel Gallagher was with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent this week and claimed that City won't be near winning the title this season.
We're still not too solid at the back, and I don't know, it's a brand new team. I mean, he's signed, I don't know how many new players we signed, but it's kind of getting to double figures now, and it'll take a while. So if you think of Guardiola's first season, where it's a year of transition, he was building a new team, we just finished 4th, and the season after we ran away with it. So it might be a season of transition, but other teams have gotten better and are more like Arsenal now. Arsenal have got a stable, very experienced team now. Our team doesn't look too experienced at the moment because it's all young players. Liverpool have got an experienced team. They've won it a couple of times already. So it's I think I'd put us probably 3rd or 4th.
Noel and Liam Gallagher, I wonder if they're on the payroll yet here at talkSPORT.
Well,
you hear them all the time.
And did you know he's the best talking pundit that's obviously a musician, a fan of a club. He absolutely 100% agree with him on what he's saying. He gets it. He calls it as it is with Manchester City. I don't see them winning the title this season. I didn't at the start, and for all the reasons he'd given, I would totally agree with.
Who will be the secret to winning this game? Is it a case of Gyökeres versus Haaland?
I think there's a great battle there in the 2 centre-forward roles. Yeah, that really interests me. I think how the physical side that Arsenal can obviously implement, the way they can play, they can be quite direct if need be. They can get in lots of long throws. They can get in lots of corners. I think it'll be big questions over whether City can handle that. But there is the flair of City. Doku is an issue. He always causes problems. If he creates, then Haaland can always deliver with the goals. His goal record's been sensational since he joined the football club. I favour Arsenal. I think they're good enough to win it. They have a number of injuries, but still with them injuries, they're still a very dangerous side.
Tomorrow, 4:30. We'll keep you posted on that one here on talkSPORT. It's time now for this.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. Cascarino, yes. Cascarino here on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Very quickly, Tony Cascarino, our very own Gabby Agbonlahor, was with Brazil on breakfast and insisted that Mikel Arteta must win a major trophy this season. Is that a Cascarino yes or Cascarino for you?
Yeah, I'd definitely say he's got to win a major trophy.
Yeah, no offence, Arteta. Get the job done. Wolverhampton Wanderers have lost each of their first 4 matches in the league this season for the first time in their history. They're rock bottom. They take on Leeds today, who are winless themselves in the last 3. Can Wolves get a win today against Leeds?
Yes, they can.
Okay, straightforward enough. Marcus Rashford scored 2 in Barcelona's victory in the Champions League versus Newcastle midweek. Left people wanting to see more performances like that for both club and country. Does he get a place on the plane for the World Cup for England next year?
Well, it depends on how consistent he is from now on in. It's not a case of just one game. We all know Marcus is a talent and he can produce moments of magic. But to be at the top table, you've got to be consistent. So, can he achieve that at Barcelona?
Do you think that was just a really good night for Rashford or the start of something special, a reintroduction? Marcus Rashford 2.0.
I think it's reignited his career.
Oh.
And that is the big thing for Marcus. If he gets any sort of spring in his step and starts playing in the front line, obviously Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, if he can be in that front line, he's going to score goals because Barca have got a hell of a side apart from that.
Okay, it's a Cascarino yes from Tony Cascarino. We're going to be back with you tomorrow here on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Stay with us. Max and Charlie, and the warm-up is on the way next. Enjoy.
Your mind.